Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Soap Studio Flash TV series Reverse Flash figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
So this is my 5th action figure from Soap Studio out of Hong Kong. I've already received the Green Arrow. I have the Flash. I have Bruce Wayne and Ra's al Ghul from the Dark Knight movie. And now I'm taking a look at Reverse Flash. I must say that this is probably one of the standout figures so far. Maybe one of my favorites out of the 5 that I've received so far. Pretty much the same buck as the Flash as far as I can tell, but they have a sort of faux leather going on here. And I really like the way this guy looks. I like the way he photographs. I've been taking quite a few pictures of him before I began recording this review. Haven't encountered too many quality control issues. I did have quite a few issues with the figures before now. So far, this guy has been pretty solid. So let's get into his accessories. Out of the package, he comes with 2 hands that are open with the fingers slightly spread, and on his left hand you can see he has a ring there. I haven't really been a big fan of how the hands look for these figures, as I think they've all been a bit oversized, but being that these are molded in black plastic, I think that it looks a little better. You can also take a close look at that head sculpt, which I think is probably one of the most attractive things about this particular figure. At least this particular head sculpt I think looks really good. And they decided to include the sort of powered up version on him out of the package, but he does have 2 additional head sculpts, which I'll get into shortly, but continuing to go over his hands. And there's a quick look at those pegs. As you can see, they are very small. He's got a set that are open, flat, with the fingers kind of mashed together. Again, they went ahead and put the ring on his left hand. He's got a couple of fists, and again, you can see the ring there on the left hand. And then he's got one additional left hand that is fully open with the fingers spread. And again, the ring is there, so continuity is important as it relates to comics and comic book characters, right? But this one, again, looks very large in my opinion. I think they could have been downsized just a little bit. And there's a look at the neck peg down in there on the buck inside the costume, which is very small as well. Just wanted to give you a look at that before I started swapping on the additional head sculpts. And there's a look at the powered down head sculpt where you can see his eyes, and I do think there is a likeness to the fellow who plays Reverse Flash on the TV show. Spoiler alert, his name is Harrison Wells on the show, and the actor's name is Tom Cavanaugh. So I do think there is a decent likeness to him, and I think this looks very good. I think they did a good job on this head sculpt as well. His final accessory as far as the head sculpts go is a completely unmasked head, but they also include this little cow. So I wanted to show that real quick before I swap on the final head and put this on. So just for the record, that took me almost 5 minutes to try to get the eye of the peg, the neck peg, lined up with this very small hole for the cow, and stick that over the neck peg and then pop the head on, because again, that peg is very small and so is the peg hole obviously here. But there's a look at it. It's not the greatest. You can see that his collar is a little bunched up, looks a little funny. And again, just like the Flash figure, I don't like the way the cow sits. It doesn't really sit as well as I would like it to. If it was actually sitting against the back of the figure, that would be much better. But you could take a look at that, and you could look at the head sculpt. And again, I think they did okay with the likeness here. I definitely see that they put some work into this one, and I'm not mad at this one. It's decent. And there's a quick look without the cow, and you can see I really bent up his collar. And he's packed in with a couple of more accessories here. The tachyon device, which you can attach to his upper torso, to his chest. I think they did a nice job with the details and everything here. You can see it definitely looks like some tech. You know, they've got some nice shading and some blacks and grays and everything in here, and it looks like it's pretty accurate to how it looked on the show as far as I can see. And there's a look at that. I hope I've applied that correctly, and that looks cool. You should definitely be careful as you put this on though, because you don't want to snag the costume with the sort of sharp edges of the device. You can see I sort of already snagged the costume up there. That wasn't from applying this though. But you can see a little snag there, and that was an issue that I had with the Flash figure as well. And then his final accessories are these 4 sort of electric effects. These are molded in like a reddish sort of orange color. Pretty much looks like the same mold and design that you got from Flash, just a different color. I don't know how well that's showing up. Somebody's calling me. So yeah, you can attach these obviously to different parts on his body, and when you want to simulate him running and going through the Speed Force or what have you. I forgot to mention that I think that tachyon device is for him to travel through different dimensions, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. And just taking a close look at the deco, you can see that it's mostly some yellow, some red, some blacks. I do like the costume design for the TV series Reverse Flash. I do think it looks pretty cool, and I think it translated well here in figure form. But like I mentioned, it is sort of a faux leather, so because of that, the articulation is not fully utilized here. I mean, it's the same buck as the Flash, so if you haven't checked out that review, please check it out. I'm not going to go into everything right now, but it is hindered quite a bit because of the restrictions from the costume. And because it is faux pleather, you're gonna have to be careful. You may start to see some stress marks. You can see one little mark there by his buttocks, and I had his arms posed up for a while, and it looks like it's starting to stress there on his right arm at the bend of the elbow. And this belt is a separate piece. It's not really hindering the articulation in the torso too much, but I'm particularly peeved with the head and neck articulation. It's not as great as the Flash's was. But again, like I said, he does look good. It's just that the articulation is definitely limited. Yeah, it is a decent look at the effects on him, so I don't think there's any right or wrong way to put these on. I mentioned that in the Flash review too, but as you can see, you can get him into decent running poses, and you know, he'll look great in vanilla poses, but just not the same amount of give as the Flash's costume, which you can see here has a little more mesh. Let me pull it back a little bit. Now you can see has a little more mesh and less faux leather, so that allows you to kind of move him around a bit more. I've got Reverse Flash on the A.C.B.A stand back there. That's why I kind of cropped out the bottom. And shout out to everybody who purchased stands this past 48 hours. They were up on the A.C.B.A website and have since sold out. So look for those to start shipping probably like the first week of January 2019. And look out for new cutouts to be coming the following week. We're going to be full steam ahead. All right, so my issues here still are with the price with Soap Studio stuff. They're still a little overpriced in my opinion. I didn't see this particular figure up on Big Bad Toy Store, but I saw the others. And like I said, if they kind of lower the price a bit, but keep pumping these out, I think they could definitely lay their stake in the game and be okay. But this is one that I do particularly like from this line. I think this guy came out pretty nice. All right, as always, rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.
That's crispy.